Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Psycho's Platters, always powered by coffee each and every time. That is right. That is absolutely right. This one here is probably only going to be slightly more than an hour today. Maybe like an hour 10 at the most. I gotta take kid to work and such. I won't be doing that too much anymore. And then after the next few weeks, hey, hello there, sir. How are you? Like I said, I'm just a little under the weather today. I still was gonna. I was hemming and hawing on trying to do this, but I'm like, you know what? I'm used to doing this, and I mean, if I can do it, that's fine. I mean, I'm not like, sick like some of the other people in the VC. I'm just sick in the head. No, I'm just really tired, is what I am. To be honest with you, I got a little congestion, but nothing like. It's just stupid allergies is what the hell it is around here. And I think probably at least the people in half the country can understand that right now. Also, I feel bad for you people in Minnesota and Wisconsin. I heard that, like electric power outages and things due to that snowstorm and stuff. I know that it was supposed to hit Chicagoland. I think 2 to 5 inches was I originally heard. But you know what, Mick? I got to tell you something. Arizona is beginning to look a lot better for a lot of these people. Like I said, eventually I'm going to end up having to take at least a visit to Arizona. I know that much. If I remember correctly, Tucson. I think I'm going to have to go to Tucson. I don't know when exactly. But, so yeah, if you're really out there in Arizona, Mick, we can go torture each other. Okay. So let's see here. Yeah, right. Now, a dear friend of mine unfortunately got COVID. Now, I haven't seen that friend in a couple of weeks because due to other factors. So she's got diabetes. It's brutal on her, seriously. At least 10 days, no contact. That's how bad it is. Hey, John, how you doing? And Dwayne and everybody around. Appreciate you guys being here. Like I said, I know that sometimes with the time frame, I know Grant, I think, is doing a video or something. I remember catching that just as I was getting ready to do that. Okay, now that, you know what? That's funny. Okay. You're right, but now here's the thing. I got excited for 2 seconds myself, okay? On the tour poster, so here's how it works. This is weird. The tour poster I saw on Facebook last night. So Heart, obviously the headliner, okay? But it also shows Cheap Trick, BTO with Randy Bachman, Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Experience. All 4 of the logos are on the poster. But if you look at the bottom row of the poster, there's in small letters, a key, like little keys, like if this tour date is asterisk, this is who's going to be your opening act, and there was different ones. So Dwayne, you may want to double check on that. Unless you already know, then fine. I found out that at least in North Little Rock, because I thought it was going to be all 4 of them in one night. I'm like, hell yeah. But no, it's Cheap Trick is going to be opening for Heart, and I'm not complaining about that. I like both bands. You know what? I wish I could afford to get, if they even do Heart meet and greets anymore, because I don't know if I showed you guys, but I've got signed photos. They were signed 2019. Yeah, 2019 it was. They were gifted to me by a known knowledgeable, autograph person. And so I would love to get Nancy and Ann's autographs on those things, which would leave me to getting Howard Leese. He's the only one out of the 6 that I don't even know what Howard's doing anymore. But I've got, what is it? I've got Steve Fisher. Steve Fisher, Roger Fisher, Michael DeRozier? No, I don't know. Does that sound right? I got their autographs, though, together on some band photos. Before I get any further, this video is in tribute to two people currently. I went and checked before I came on here. One is a Northwest Arkansas radio, do we want to call him a legend? I don't know. I don't know. Mainstay for 40 years. His name was Big Dan Henschel. He passed away on Saturday. He was literally in Northwest Arkansas radio for 40 years, and he was heard daily on Nash Icon Radio, which is your country station. I saw Cheap Trick once live. Randy 8 times for Randy, huh? And 5 for That's Kick Ass. You got Hart to sign the set list, but I didn't meet him. Oh, a roadie did it. That's cool. Now, you know what? I would have loved to have met Randy. Randy seems like a very interesting bird. I'd love to see him and Burton. Seriously. Yes, they did, John, but I'm wondering if it's because of this. Although saying that, I heard that bits and pieces that they were recording a new album. So maybe it's going to come out before the tour. I don't know. I'm a little confused about that myself. Oh, nice. See, right. That's right. Didn't Jason play with? How long did Jason play with Hart? Not too long, right? Or are you talking about Jason opened for him? I'm a little confused. Doesn't take very much today, guys. Like I said, I'm not all here, so I have to apologize. So, to Big Dan Henschel, and then the second one, which was yesterday, dead at the age of 82, Mr. Count Floyd himself, Joe Flaherty from SCTV. That bummed me out. You know, that really did. Nice, very nice. And Dwayne, when you met him, did you stand tall? Anyways, that's just like such a big. I like that song. I always have. Nice, excellent. I did not know that he was a touring member for a while for Heart. He's powerful on those drums. Damn it, he's powerful. I saw him in 2005 with Foreigner, is how I got to see him. And I have a signed, used drum head. The merch table would be selling these things every so often. And I happened to catch this thing, and it was, like I said, he signed it and dated it, and then put his father's logo from Zeppelin on it. I'm like, nice. Eventually, I wanted to get a shadow box. And then I'd like to get like a small picture of Jason and a small picture of that was weird. Do you see that, guys? It like blipped for 2 seconds. That was weird. I'm letting you know in advance. On and off, the internet people have been playing with the whatevers, if you will, for the last 48 hours. So hopefully, if there's an interruption for some reason, it may be that. Just giving you FYI on that. I got my own way to rock. I can't stand tall because I inherited the Polish height from both sides of my family. Well, you know what? I don't know what percent Polish I am, but I am mostly from German-Polish stock, although my biological father, he was a Heinz 57. He was like a mutt dog. He had a little bit of everything. Seriously. English, let's see. English, German, Russian, I'm told, Australian, and not that it really matters, but in both sides of my family, we have Jewish heritage, and I think, if I remember correctly, on my biological father's side, I think there's, oh God, you gotta help me here, history experts. There was 2 tribes, if I remember correctly, in the Battle of Little Bighorn, Custer, and one of the Indians actually I am told, took the deceased chief's headdress and rode off. And that's how, supposedly. Yeah, I am loud. What can I say? But you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. By the way, I like your whole thing there, Dr. Robert. I'm hoping, before I get into that, what I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to leave his comment up for a second because it's good. Just a good segue here. But before I do, ladies and gentlemen, new subscribers to the Psycho Network, Crafting with a Sassy Panda, she changed her name, and George Rockwood, yes, both in the Psycho Network, and we turn that. Well, how about this? I'm not going to do this too much. How about that? Does that help? I'm a loud guy. I really, really am. And I'm going to tell you something. I'd say from where I'm at, it's about 2.5 feet away from me. But like I said, we're going to talk about this because my son has brought the relatively sort of new gaming laptop. Yeah. And headphone with the speaker, with the mic. So, I think so, yes. Hey, by the way, since you are a bona fide doctor, could you send me some of that special cold medicine? I could sure use it. See, there's a mix of everything. But back to this for a second. So we're getting that laptop. It's here. I just haven't had time to test it. We're going to do, I'm hoping Friday. Normally I don't go on Friday nights. You can't hear me now. I don't know what to tell you. I didn't mute myself. So, Doctor and Patient Privacy Act, yes. There we go. How about that? I don't know. Anywho, we'll just do the best we can with what we got. All right. So, and Danny, I'm glad I'll take your thing down here for a second. But we're gonna run a test broadcast, maybe Friday. Okay, I'm not scheduling it right now, but I want to see if I can get the equipment set up. Do I have a? Why is that still there? I can't hear you. What? Or in Stone Cold Steve Austin, what? What? Anyways, so with the headphone and the mic, hopefully we're going to run it on this new thing, and maybe we'll test it, and then maybe we'll try to bring up people. Yeah, it'll be the first time in about a year, roughly, I'd say, since I've tried doing this kind of thing. But like I said, I got to get YouTube and StreamYard. I got to get it all set up. So I'm shooting for Friday night. No offense, it's not going to be before 8:30 p.m. Central. I'm going to try to probably stop right around the time of Grown Man Record Night. He usually likes to start about 10:15 p.m. Central. Because I like watching Mike. Mike's a good guy at Grown Man. Him and his crew. Joking. What? I'm glad you're here, Danny, though, because I'm going to show you something that I know you're going to like. But hang on a second. I know. So, the title of today's video, I come up with weird-ass titles, don't I? But I like it because sometimes it makes some of you people go, what the fuck's he going to talk about now? and you guys come on into my nice little room. And I appreciate that very much. And I'll just say this now and at the end. If you haven't liked and subbed, please do if you feel like it. So, title, Magic is a Child That Tried Too Hard for Fame and Fortune. So, I will say this much. I went to said record store 2 towns down. And I didn't do so well this time, but I still got some money. I didn't have a full box. I usually try to go with a full box. I think I went with like 2/3. But I got some decent trade. That's right, Danny. I finally got an OG copy of this little baby. I couldn't, it had to have just come in the last few weeks because it wasn't there before. No, it wasn't. This is Magic as a Child, the 1977 album from Nectar. That's right. The only Nectar album until Roy's death in 2016 that he is not on. And of course, my friend tries to call me now. Sorry, you had all day. Anyways, here's the front and here's the back. Now, they weren't on Passport anymore, of course. I'm guessing because Passport, I don't know, but it's on Polydor is what this is, okay? So, pretty dang cool in my opinion anyway. Oh, hang on a minute. Ah, isn't that haunting? And then you get that. Now, Dave Nelson is the gentleman that replaces Roy for this album only. Because now the one that's next in this lineup, which I've never seen a copy of, never released in the United States, is Man on the Moon? Man on the Moon from 1980. And that's the next one I'm trying to find, but I am led to believe that it only was released in Europe, so that one might be a little tougher to get. But here's the thing. This girl right here, okay, Brooke Shields was the model, the inspiration for this. Yeah, I mean, go figure, Brooke Shields. But basically, it is still your classic lineup, except for Roy not being there. Larry Fast, who Larry Fast has been on God knows how many albums from the 60s to the 80s at least. He kind of, I'm heard, technically was an honorary member of Nectar. And but he's on here too, doing synthesizing and stuff. But yeah, so very fun, in my opinion, for all of this. Magic is a Child. I cannot wait to listen to that. A lot of people claim that when that album came out, Brooke Shields, and yeah, that's right. What the fuck's he gonna talk about? So that's the first part of the equation. Now the next part, so we already knew Magic as a Child, right? That tried too hard. What is try too hard? You know, I've been a big fan of this 60s band for a very long time. And I originally wanted to exactly. And here's the thing, though, for anybody that's just starting out in Nectarville, okay, I am led to believe every album, go to Nectar's website, you can get reissues. Now, for the Magic as a Child, now that I have the vinyl, they did crank it out on CD with a one unreleased song and a early demo. So I want to get that somehow. If I don't know, it's been many moons since they released it, but I think every album is in colored vinyl in the Nectar store. Not that that matters. I remember when I saw them in 2020, they had almost all of them at the merch booth. But, I'm kind of sort of picky. I really don't go for reissue stuff unless it's going to be like, I don't know, some record that's normally goes for over $100 or more. And I'm just like, most of the time, I'll just wait. Patience comes to those who wait sometimes. And like I said, with the Nectar here, I was hoping so, because the closest I ever found to a copy of that, I actually found an 8-track of that Nectar album, and I'm going, damn it. I said, but, oh well. And here's Melody. Howdy, Paul. Danny, I love you, Danny. Pico, my buddy. Good on, love, Nectar, fact, you're right. The new album, unless I am wrong, I am led to believe the new album's title is Mission to Mars. That is the name of the LP, and they claim they want to have it at least put out by the June tour. Now, I don't know. I know that they're in some production form on it. I know that much, and it's the same people that were on the other side, except there is a new drummer, of course, due to Ron Howden's untimely passing. But Ron, if I remember correctly, shows up on at least 8 tracks, so, which is what happened with 2020's Other Side. Roy, there was a live clip before Devil Door. So, Apple Pit's my man. Yes, indeed. So, big fan, though, of this English band. I'm sorry, I don't think these guys ever got enough love. There's a lot of controversy with these guys, okay? Whether you love them or not, at least they were, I don't even want to say the band, basically the guy behind all of it was smart enough, I'll explain in a minute. So, from 1966 on Epic Records, been looking for this one. I don't have many to look for yet in the U.S. catalog, okay? DC5's tried too hard. Yeah. The last copy that I found of this, it just was too beat up. And no, I didn't have to pay the prices on here. I got them in trade. So here's the front, here's the back. If I remember correctly, there only would be one more U.S. in decent shape, too, truthfully. This sucker here is like I see at least near minty. Very, very nice. But I don't know. I still want to do a special episode on these guys. They deserve it, but there's controversy behind these guys. There's some weird stuff that I tripped on, real too, not made up. This part of it. I'll just say tell you was gleaned from a former higher up in Rhino Records. Okay, but I'm trying to think. The one that comes out after this, is it Everybody Else? It's another band cover. It shows their faces. In a cracked mirror. That's what it looks like faces in a cracked mirror. That's the one I'm still looking for. And I'm also looking for, believe it or not, I've never come across a copy of Glad All Over without the band in front, with their instruments being just a band photo. I have never come across a copy of that. I did come across a copy of some Canadian DC5, but unfortunately they were so battered I couldn't even save them. He was the true star. You are absolutely correct. And I don't know if I might be able to get this. I don't understand what happened with Goldmine, by the way. What I didn't tell you about the last issue that came out, and I don't have it right now because I think I gave it to I gave it to my bestie, Donna Jo Cat Lady, but my executive producer. But they took out the dealers. There's no more dealers, or at least not for that issue. So it's like I don't have access to the quasi bootleg releases. When Mike Smith went back out for one last tour in the United States, it was called Mike Smith's Rock Engine or something, or Rock Machine. He came to Rockford Davis Park and performed, and I couldn't go. Thank you. That's the one I'm still looking for. I don't have that one. See, and that is pretty dang cool that you've got that, because, you know, yeah, Mike Smith was the true star, okay, of that band. Dave Clark, obviously, his name on the band, right? But let's face it, we do know a few things. A, he was a very shrewd man. Very shrewd. Give him points for that, because he was clever enough to go off and lease the master recordings to Epic. Epic never, and I can't believe Epic actually agreed to it. That's the thing that surprised me, because that went against the grain in the early 1960s, early mid-60s, okay? So he was shrewd enough to lease the masters. Second thing, though, we do know, but let's face it, DC5 was not the only band in the mid-1960s to use instrument backing tracks pre-recorded on a live television show. Okay? But there was evidence, and there was a blooper, a goof, if you will. I cannot remember if it was a Sullivan Show appearance, but the tape got it got mangled, or it sped up too high, and you almost see the weird look on Dave Clark's face, and he's like, uh-oh. And so they had to black out, and then they came back up, and if I remember correctly, I think they played it live due to the tape mishap. It has this much we do know also, that Dave did not perform on at least 75% of the hits. The hits, okay? I am led to believe that, yes, he did play on several album tracks on each album. And he might have played on a quarter of the hits. But there were several different studio drummers that played on him. And I'm going to tell you, I got hooked on DC5 several different ways. But Do You Love Me? Oh my God, their cover of Do You Love Me? That thing cooks. I just like the way that cooks. And let's face it, a sax in an English band in the mid-60s, I'm like, that was unique in itself. And I'm just like, wow, you know. But of course I like Glad All Over, Bits and Pieces. I even liked Because and some of the choir stuff. Now, I remember Having a Wild Weekend. MTV showed it. It was like in one of those midnight showings. God, that thing was stupid. I'm like, ugh, could have had a better vehicle for those boys, but it did. Yeah, see, and I got the vinyl for that. It shows them doing two numbers, Glad All Over, Bits and Pieces. I think only B&P is on the YouTube right now. See, and I wish you'd put the other one on somehow without getting dinged, because we all would love to see that. Yeah, Catch Us If You Can. See, and yeah, Because is probably my favorite kind of ballad. But now here's the thing I've got. This always, and I'm sorry if I'm being DC5 centric for a few minutes, but I do have several questions still. A, most English bands in the latter 60s, from 67 on, psychedelic, right? That didn't happen. That did not happen with these guys. You would have thought that they would have tried something. Okay, now I know that DC-5 didn't break up until 1970. I think by that time, if I remember correctly, it was called Dave Clark and Friends, which basically was Dave and Mike Smith and maybe one other band member and then some session people. But the last album in America was 1967. They kept recording on UK and Columbia, on Columbia Records. Now, I do like 19 Days. 19 Days is another one that's just ear candy stomper. But why they never tried Summer of Love psychedelic, at least once, even if it was a shitty album, we could be talking about in 2024 about the Dave Clark Five's failed psychedelic masterpiece, aka like Rolling Stones' Satanic Majesty's Request, and look how long it took for people to really appreciate that album for being quirky but cool. DC-5 should have tried the same trick. I don't know why they didn't go that way. Maybe the other way they could have gone, I mean, with 19 Days, there was a little bit of an example, but maybe they could have turned into a blue-eyed soul R&B band and maybe, with the sax and everything, and they could, because, I mean, let's face it, Motown, Stax, all that shit was hot. They could have went in that direction and maybe kept going. I don't know. I'm just an idiot. Taping Having a Wild Weekend years ago. Yeah, off the Disney Channel. That's right. Now, with that, I don't know. Does Dave own the rights to that movie, or is it? Damn it! In '65, what motion picture company put that out? Can anybody tell me that? It's a great vinyl. I love looking at. To play on the turntable still plays great. Kick ass. Penny Lane, in my ears and in my eyes. But so I'm hoping to get a friend of mine in on doing a special episode with me. But if not, I'll do the best I can with what I've got. I do have, like I said, a lot of DC-5. I'm not a DC-5 expert. I am far from being an expert in anything. If anything, the closest, and I mean the closest, would be Monkees. But let's face it, we all know that pretty much Andrew Sandoval's king of that, isn't he? And then zilch podcasters. They know their shit. And by the way, speaking of that, you know what? I'll hold off on that for a minute because I don't want to go all over the place. I still have another part of this title. So we already explained, Magic is a child that tried too hard for fame and fortune. So, as I described in my newest episode of Jukebox from Hell, which if you've not seen it yet, is Jeremy Spencer and the Children of God from 1972. Go take a look at it. I think you might like it, and I did throw some interesting factoids in that thing too. But next episode on Jukebox from Hell will be the 1986 Bad Company album, Fame and Fortune. That's right. The attempt at reuniting Bad Company. Okay. At this point, it's mainly Mick and Simon's turn. Mick Mouse, Simon Kirke, and they bring in Brian Howe, former Ted Nugent vocalist from the early 80s. And even though it says on the back, Boz Burrell, he is nowhere on this album. He originally was in the lineup to do this, and at the last minute got out of there to go play with a blues band. So Steve Price plays bass on all this. So Fame and Fortune. So now you know, Magic is a child that tries too hard for fame and fortune. Right, and you know what? I remember They did show some of that on MTV also, or maybe it was VH1. And he used to have videotapes out. One of them he made was Beatles-centric, and that thing only got one run because I think Apple went after him on that. But I could be wrong, but I mean, he owned the damn tapes. Remember the band Coven? Yes, and the One Tin Soldier. You know what? I'll tell you something. I found the first album. Okay, Coven's from Chicagoland originally. They were. But even though I love collecting Chicagoland stuff, which what a nice segue, because I'm going to show you something that I picked up in trade today that's a private press from the early 70s. But give me a second. So I found that first Coven album because, if I remember correctly, that was on Mercury. I could be wrong on that. But Mercury was very Chicago-centric. They had offices in Chicago. That's why you saw a lot of Chicagoland bands make it on Mercury. New Colony 6, Spanky and Our Gang. There's others, trust me. But, you know, they had offices until I want to say the late 1970s, when shortly before the Polygram merger. But when I saw that first Coven album, it spooked me out and it gave me bad vibes. Seriously, I don't know if I'll ever get that thing. You're correct. He is good, but he's no Paul Rodgers. And the thing is about this album, and I only started listening to it, I'm not done yet. I mean, I give him an A for effort, but, you know, it's going to be the next one after this that ends up where they slowly get back up there again, which is nice. But there were, at that point before the reunion in 98, there was a lot of tours in the 90s, okay, where it was down to Simon Kirke. Mick Rouse would not be on most of the tours due to health problems or sitting out things. So really, in a way, during that time, Badco was a tribute band. Yeah. Not knocking Simon Kirke, just saying. I'm trying to remember what that looks like. Let me guess, is some certain person, yeah, he's been dead for, you know, I got to see him open for Foreigner in 05, speaking of the Jason Bonham thing. He did even come off a little cocky, even then. I mean, because what was it? He was out of Badco since what, 92? 92, I want to say. Maybe 93. Because then Robert Hart came in for an album. Or two. I don't know. Needless to say, he had nothing really to be cocky about, considering that, like I said, he was 12 years out of Bad Company. But I think, I don't know, the one thing he went off and that kind of came off slightly douchey anyway was, he said in my next number here, he goes, well, this song here and you fans helped pay for my house. And he goes right into holy water, and I'm like, not a real great way to get engaging your audience. Go ahead and hate your neighbor. Go ahead and cheat a friend. Do it in the name of heaven. You can justify it in the end. Yeah, it is. One tin soldier named Billy Jack. Oh, nice. I may have to look into that. How did I overlook that? Anyways, but yeah, I mean, I know the Chicagoland band Coven is, but yeah, Brian Howe though, I mean, he didn't end up doing anything after that. If I remember correctly, he tried to go out and I want to say with another former band member, and he got smushed. Like I think for a while there was like a version that even had said Bad Company featuring Brian Howe. I'm going, you know, when you start doing this nonsense, you know, but that just goes to show you that, are you familiar with Rhino's Nuggets box sets? I'm not going to lie to you, no. I couldn't afford them. I think, truthfully, I've had originals and reissues in my hands of the original Nuggets from 72 on Elektra, in which back then Lenny Kaye did a great job getting that thing compiled together. That is a great double LP. I wish I had an original of that. I have never came across a reasonably priced Nuggets that wasn't, you know, like one of the records would be nice and the other record would look like it was stomped on by an elephant. I'm picky. I'm sort of picky, okay? I'm one of these guys that, to me anyway, VG is acceptable. If I can play it all the way through without there any skips or a lot of surface noise, I'm good with that. How many did they put out? I just don't have either of them. I wish someday I will, you know, but let's face it, box sets are made for the rich. I can't afford stuff like that. That's not to insult you people. That's what the record companies want you to do, is spend all your money, all your hard-earned money on a box set, and we're going to charge you $200-300 for it. I'm like, I understand that it costs money to produce the damn things. It costs money to license the songs. I understand all of that, okay? I know, and the CDs, for example, those don't cost a lot to make. Mastering, yes. To produce the CDs, no. So I'm thinking, truthfully, on those box sets, at least a 40% profit margin. That's my guess. I could be wrong. They put out 4 of them, huh? Jeez, look up the track listing from Nuggets 2, original artifacts from the British Empire and beyond. Nice. Well, then you did good. You did good. Now, I've heard of Son of Nuggets and LA Nuggets. I've tripped on some of those even too over the last few years. But once again, out of my price range. I do happen to have, like, as far as for compilations are concerned, and maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll try to pull out a few for the test episode. I have a bunch of 80s, they were made in the 80s, I think, rockabilly comps from like Imperial, King Federal, lots of fun stuff, you know, seriously. Maybe I'll see if I can pull those and show you, you know. That's about the only, and you know how I got those? 99 cents a piece. I'm serious. Some of them, if I remember correctly, were made in the UK, and I still got these things for 99 cents and in nice shape too. They have a song called Garden of My Mind by the Mickey Finn. Very nice. That Elvis Twilight Zone episode was great. Thanks for that, Mellow Paul. You have to watch it too. All right, hang on a minute. Elvis Twilight. And Nuggets 2. I try to write this stuff down that you guys suggest, because I'm that kind of a guy. So, bonus stuff I'm going to show you. I told you, let me get some more coffee. Don't run away, please. I always say that, and some of you people run away on me. See? 2 of you just left after I said that. Dang it, you guys. You guys are impatient little things, aren't you? That's all right. I forgive you, nevertheless. All right. Andrew Best. Oh, nice. Like I said, I like Andrew Sandoval, okay? Like I said, I truthfully think I met him briefly in 2013 on that Monkees tour, but he was really busy. I couldn't really yip-yap at him anyway. So, I ended up getting a very unusual album I picked up today for nothing in this trade. So, this is another Chicagoland thing. In the late 60s to almost mid 70s, there was a band on Wooden Nickel Records. Wooden Nickel Records, of course, based in Chicago, kind of run by Bill Trout, aka Dunwich Records from the 60s, if you remember that. We've talked about Dunwich. But he ended up making Wooden Nickel would be the next thing after Dunwich. And Wooden Nickel, they didn't have too many people on the label, okay? Your biggie, of course, would be Styx. But Siegel Schwall Band was another one that they put a handful of albums out on Wooden Nickel. And I happen to have some of them. They're not in the greatest shape, but I'm glad I have them anyway, okay? So around 73 was right when they were starting to break up, okay? I would love to see Corky Siegel. I don't think Jim Schwall does anything anymore. I don't even know if he's still alive. I could be wrong on that too. Hang on a second. I'm too popular for my own good. So, this is a private press, all right, from 1973. A wedding present, oh boy, a wedding present from Cherie and Jim Schwall. All right, here's the front, here's the back. I mean, this thing is so goofy looking, honestly. I mean, seriously, it just shows the tracks on here. There is not a record company. You see, look at the eyeball. You have an eyeball. But like I said, this thing here is, I would say, near minty. And like I said, private press. And it says, this album was recorded on a Sony home tape recorder, mostly at parties. It's mostly first takes. There are no overdubs. No one in New York had anything to do with it. And I don't know, you've got, oh, excuse me. It doesn't really tell you very much on here. It does say at the bottom, special thanks to Bill Trout of Wooden Nickel Records. There's some goofy-ass titles on this thing, though, seriously. Like, Can I Play With Your Poodle? Uh-huh. Boy, oh boy, if that's not a euphemism, I don't know what it is. He tackles Season of the Witch from Donovan. But then he's also got a few of his own written ones. Even his wife, I guess, wrote one, too. Stuff like Blues for a Lady and I'm Getting Old. Boy, I know what that theme song sounds like. And Cadillac Ford. So I like Siegel Schwall, but this is going to be, out of the 40 plus years I've collected, I have only ever come across one other copy of this, all right? And I've also seen, oh yeah, well, it's got to be better than the Lennon Wedding album. Maybe I should do a review of this someday down the line. That'd be funny. Be like, ooh, I don't even know if it's on YouTube. Might be. I don't know. Want a fun listen? Look up the album Butchering the Beatles Incredible Covers album. The cover is fun too. That. It is. But yeah. And then, since we were talking about the Beatles, I love these segues. You guys are helping me on segues here. By the way, what I'm drinking, I'm still finishing off the pumpkin spice Starbucks. I normally don't get into pumpkin spice, but at $2 a bag, you're damn right I was going to get it. I got 2 of them, so I got to go through all that pumpkin spice. Oh boy, the Golden Throat series. Oh my God, I remember that first Golden Throat with William Shatner and everything. I'll tell you this, I had an original Rhino Beatles songs, if you know what I'm talking about, where a certain person is drawn on the cover, and I can't believe they got away with it back then. I bought the thing almost brand new. That's how I knew. I don't have it anymore, unfortunately, but I thought that was pretty tasteless for 1982. So, since we're talking briefly here, Beatles, okay, just for a minute, guys, because I know some of you people can't stand people talking about the Beatles. Well, that's because there's a lot of channels with Beatles, right? I talk about more than the Beatles, because there's a lot more out there in the world than the Beatles. Yeah, well, I wasn't going to bring up the name. We don't bring up that name, but you're right. So I happen to find this thing that I'm going to show you here from 1964. I found it for $1.49 in the back room of a junk shop in Harvard, Illinois. That's no longer there. And the thing is that do you have the Stars on Long Play album? I have it. They made 3. I thought they only made 2. Ah, shit. I did have that Stars on 45. Chapas. So, like I said, I found this in the back of the junk shop because I knew my lady friend Susan, who I was sort of seeing, she's like, hey, we got a bunch of records just came in. Nobody's gone and looked at it. Yeah, you're dang right. It was like pound and a half. It was ground already. I didn't even have to grind it. So, yeah, I'm gonna pass that up. I can deal with it, and I still drink it without creamer or sugar. Please hit that like. You don't have to. It's not required, but it would be wonderful. Not necessarily stoned, but beautiful. You know, it would be kind of funny to get like, I don't, it's been a while, guys, since I even tried to get baked. I don't do it that often, but it'd be funny to do a show while I was baked. No, it probably would be shittier than right now. Or maybe it'd be more improved. I have no clue. But, okay, so my lady friend Susan, she's like, hey, bunch of records came in. No, they haven't been put out. She just dumped them off and said she'd be back tomorrow. Get your ass over here before I close the store in about 2 hours. You betcha. So I ran over there, okay, and no, unfortunately, I had to get up at 6 a.m. to go take my lady friend to her doctor appointment at 8 o'clock. She needed a ride, so I was trying to be nice. So, no, I did not get to see Joe. I'm hoping to be on tomorrow morning, I hope. We'll see. Yeah, because I think Friday I'm not going to be able to. I think I got to leave early Friday before work. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So along with what I'm going to show you here, I found both Shadows of Night albums on Dunwich. Now, unfortunately, the Gloria album has a little bit of a dog ear type abuse, but Backdoor Man, the second one, looks beautiful. And I got Jerry McGeorge to sign those. Another segue. So, if you love the Shadows of Night, which I do, okay, Gloria is their most famous, but I like Oh Yeah, and Light Bulb Blues. There's a bunch of them that are just, and I even like Shake, which has nothing to do with the original Shadows of Night except for Jimmy, okay? It's a brand new band when you get to that point. But next weekend, so not this one coming up, but the following coming up in, I hope I'm getting this right, Tomulka, California. So if you're in California, you may want to go to the California Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony. Now, I'm not entirely sure why they're doing this in California. There's going to be a mini Shadows of Night reunion, all right? So you get, because a couple of the members are dead. Jim Soanes is dead. Joe Kelly, the bass player, is dead. Okay, one of the drummers is in Israel, and he probably is not coming back out ever. But Jerry McGeorge, all right. So you got Jerry McGeorge and Warren Rogers. Warren has not performed with the Shadows since like 1967. Yeah, he's almost been in a hermit existence. I cannot believe that they got Warren to come out to do this. And Norm Grosh, who was an original member of the Shadows of Night. So all three of them gonna be there. I hope somebody's smart enough to record it. I don't know if they're gonna perform. It'd be cool if they did, like with a guest singer. I think that'd be great. But back to what I was saying. So other than those two Shadow of Night albums that I got signed by Jerry McGeorge later, I found this. I have never come across another copy of this in the 40 plus years of collecting. I am being very serious here. The MGM, I find the MGM one marginally more than this. This is what you're looking at. Unfortunately, Ken decided to be an a-hole and put a marker on his label. Now, as far as for this is concerned, this is a VG Plus, okay? But I'm still glad I got it. This thing is nice, okay? But normally you see the MGM ones before that. Now, on this one here, of course, obviously you've got the Beatles doing Tony Sheridan material. You got Ain't She Sweet, Sweet Georgia Brown, Take Out Some Insurance on Me, Baby, and Nobody's Child. The rest are done by a band called the Swallows. Now, not much information on the Swallows, but I love the bullshit here because it says, in this album, another well-known English group, the Swallows. Really? I bet you it wasn't, and I bet you it was a studio group. Whoever would have worked in 1964 at Atlantic. One took over the line, sweet G. Okay, hang on a minute. Listen, Fonzie, stay away from Marion. Marion's mine, okay? Marion's the one. You don't forget, Fonzie, that she helped to give birth, all right, to Richie and Joni and Chuck. But we don't talk about Chuck, Fonzie, because you helped me. Oh, you helped me get rid of him. Oh, ooh. Stay away from her. That's what she said. You know, I've got that 45 also. The tougher one is the Sweet Georgia Brown 45, I'm told. That one's a lot tougher to find. I don't even know if I ever had it. I had a nice Beatle collection in the 80s. I did. 3 Cool Cats. Right. Thank you for bringing that up. He is. That's right. He is on drums on some of this, okay? And I think that's fucking cool. I can't remember how many cuts. I want to say 2 or 3. At least on Ain't She Sweet, I think that he's on. I don't know. I heard 2 or 3. I'm not sure. I don't know if I can do this. I've never tried that before. Listen, Fonzie, this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I told you not to mess with Marion. You got all the rest of Milwaukee you can play with, but quit fucking messing around with Marion. See, I don't sound good yelling. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Ooh. I don't know, whatever. So there's my vinyl stuff. You know what I'm saying? Oh man. As Applepit says, I aim to please even myself. Yeah. I still have yet to listen to this. I am so far behind. I still say, get this, Big Stir Records. I went through their website. I need to end up talking to Big Stir eventually. I need to thank them for such a nice treatment they gave me. But hey, Mr. C, that's okay. I got cupcake in the closet. She's got herpes, Fonzie. I gave it to her. Oh, I got it from Bubbles from the convention. Oh, that's horrible. Hey, there's a shot to clear that up. No, not herpes. Hey, got syphilis. Oh. Next on Happy Days, Fonzie's got VD. Who did he get it from? The answer will surprise you. It's almost like a Who Shot JR thing. Who gave Fonzie VD? Ooh, no. It was Joni. Oh! It was Joni. That's Cupcake. Cupcake gave him syphilis. From who? Chachi, that's right. Well, where did Chachi get? Yeah, here we go. A very special episode. I remember how they used to make it sound so dramatic. See, now I want to hear Ernie Anderson. If you know what I'm talking about, good for you. I want to hear Ernie Anderson say that in front of a very special episode. Fonzie's got oh my God. Hey, Liberace. Hey guys, you know Liberace just played it from the auditorium. Hey Fonzie, how you doing? You know, you what do you think of my diamond crusted gold lame here, huh? I'm telling you, it cost me more than half of Milwaukee's paychecks to be able to afford this thing. But you know, I gotta tell you something, Arthur. I'm sorry, Fonzie didn't beat the shit out of him for this one. Listen, Arthur, I really love the leather jacket look. You look great. You want to go have some coffee up in my room? No! I wish my brother George was here. Hey, George, can you give me my candelabra? Did you watch Mayo's last time? I'll have to watch it. I will watch it when I come back from taking my son to work. Hey, Glenn, how are you? Oh, God. We might as well, Liberace. Then we can all go do a threesome. Oh. Oh, God, okay. On a very special... On a very special episode, Fonzie realizes that a certain thing is only an exit, not an entrance. No! Uh-huh. That's why he couldn't have kids. Didn't he end up getting married? Or he was going to get married to that lady that had the daughter, which was, of course, Poltergeist kid. Heather Graham? Listen, Charlotte, can I have anything in the fairgrounds? Hey, Samantha, can I turn Darren into a toad? Both at the same time. A very special episode. He goes to visit Laverne and Shirley. And in the dark, Lenny and Squiggy show up at the wrong moment. Hey. Ooh. Hey. Ooh. Please. Oh. Only those two know. Only. Heather O'Rourke, I'm sorry. Why did I say Heather Graham? Who didn't she fucking, wasn't she an actress that was with, oh God, what the hell is his name? The one that got caught with the hooker, the ugly hooker? I don't remember his name anymore. Yeah, Heather O'Rourke. My bad, guys, my bad. I'm tired. They did, yeah. No kidding. Ooh. Pinky Tuscanero. Ah. Sorry, hang on a minute. So, I love you guys. You just get me through everything. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Coffee and pizza burger. Ooh, gross. But, so let's see. We're getting into concert season. A lot of bands are going out. A lot of bands. Oh. Oh my God. Hi-ho. Hey, Piggy, where is it? Who the hell? Waka waka waka! Oh. On a special episode of the Buck. Oh, I think he did. Yes, a classic joke there. Classic joke. You know, when I saw that Fonzie jump the shark the first time around, going, that's when I know, like, what the hell is this? I'm like, this is. To me, that's almost as ludicrous. No, it's a rapper, but that's almost as ridiculous as, remember the Batman movie and the Andy Shark repellent? I'm like, really? You just happen to have it. Because she was fucking goofy. Yes. Oh, you betcha. See, and you know what? I don't think I ever saw that site. I never saw that site in the early internet days. God, you know, that makes me feel so old, though. Because, like, the early internet, that would have been, like, late 90s, early O's. For God's sakes. I don't remember that stuff, guys. Let's see, I lost half my viewership. There must be something else going on at 8 o'clock right now. That's okay, though, because I got to wind this down in a few minutes. Like I said, I got to go take my kid to work. I knew this was going to be short, but like I said before you all run off, we're going to try, to run a test episode Friday, okay? And to see if just everything's working, and and if it is, we'll do some brief, maybe bringing up people for the first time in over a year. It'd be nice. I miss having people on screen with me. I don't mind doing it over at Joe's channel or Rachel's channel. I was even, what was it, last week? Rich Strickler and Sam St. John and we were on there for a little while. And what was it, about a month or two where I was on Royce's too, so I like going on other people's mail. Oh, that's why people jumped. Okay, I get it. Yes, I don't mind it getting racy, Glenn. I don't mind it at all. I like when Batman, right? I thought that's just so, yeah, oh my God. You know what, here's the thing. So like my grandkid, he's going to be here on the weekends. Starting in a few weeks. So the Saturday shows might get weird. I might have to push that to another day, or maybe earlier in the day or something. I don't know. But we'll see. So the thing is that he'll be here on the weekends. And so it's Grandpa's job to corrupt him with the Batman TV show, the 60s version with Adam West, which was the best Batman. Fight me. I'm an old man, and so it's pointless. The Star Trek animated series, I want to show him that first. Then when he's a few years older, we'll make him do the old ones. And that first season of the Monkees, I'm going to corrupt this kid. He's 6. He's going to be the coolest kid. He will be. I mean, after all, his dad is getting there too. His dad, my son, his favorites are Fleetwood Mac and Pink Floyd. And let's see, he likes Hall & Oates. He just started listening to them. Who the hell else was he listening to the other day? I mean, he likes his 90s and O's music too, though, you know, and stuff from today. But as far as for classic stuff is concerned, he does like Fleetwood Mac and Floyd. Now, I did go off and played him Hypnotized from Mac, and I'm going, it wasn't all just Lindsay Stevie. And I played backwards. I went and I played Hypnotized, which I love that song. Bob Welch does such a great job on that. And then, of course, Oh Well, I love Oh Well, and Man of the World, and Green Manalishi, Albatross. I mean, geez, lots of fun stuff. Lots of fun stuff. But the creepiest album cover would have to be Heroes Are Hard to Find. You know, Mick Fleetwood in his underwear holding a kid who, by the way, is his daughter, okay? I still think it's a creepy cover anyway. Yeah, Bob Welch, hell yeah. That's right, Dobbs, hell yeah. He was I know, it's like, just that song, I was like, and I'm just like, right away, and I'm just like, you know, that's one of those songs that you need to get baked while you're listening to that thing, because it's a good baking song. It was a form. If it was a form, you could add comments. Sentimental Lady, I like that one too. I do, but for some reason, I actually like his version better for some reason. Although several members of Fleetwood Mac are on the background of that too. You know, and I need to get those Paris albums. Okay, I have been requested by somebody. I've got it in the book here, for me to review at least a Paris album, and so eventually I will find one and I will review it. And there were some really cool people in that damn band with Welch. Yeah, you know, I can't. It's just too bad he had to off himself. Okay, I also don't think it was fair. Why was he not in the Hall of Fame? It's like this whole picky choosy shit. Okay. I will say this. First of all, this is the Rock and Roll Hall of Shame. We obviously know this. But if you played on a damn album, in the career of the band that is going, you're a member. It doesn't matter. That should be the rule. Now, I know you're thinking here, well, why not? Okay, does that include sessionists? No. This counts for the members of the band that are listed as members of the band. Speaking of that, I heard Eric Singer supposedly dissed Peter and Ace. You know what? Kiss is not relevant. Kiss hasn't been relevant in a long time, and I'm a Kiss fan. They're not relevant. They're a joke, unfortunately, now. A big joke, and that's sad. By the way, I keep doing this, and I know I got to get going here real soon too. Yeah, I got maybe about 6 minutes before I got to go. So I don't know if you saw, but and I think it's sold out, unfortunately. But there may be another run. The Gene Simmons vault. They stopped that whole idea now. Now you can get just the CDs in the book, okay? Or just the CDs or something. But I think it's like $80 for the 11 CDs or something like that. So maybe I will pull the trigger on that. I would not mind, because I didn't want to buy the whole damn vault anyway. What am I going to do with a heavy fucking vault? And I heard the memorabilia wasn't always that great. I'm just like, I just wanted the damn CDs. That's it. So maybe eventually I will get it. Not that she needs the damn money anyway from me, but I want to hear it all. You know, I had the Kiss box set. I listened to that. You know, but I got that for only $20. I just want this. Hot Love, Cold World. Oh, is that the suggestion? Hot Love, Cold World off of Paris? I'll have to have you on my show when I do show that Dave Clark show. Yes. Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, maybe they'll get struck in bits and pieces. You know, hopefully with the short, you know, we can ask the audience, can't you see? I could do this all day. All right. Those are great tunes with Peter Green. All right. You betcha. Okay. Like I brought up about Jeremy Spencer in the new one for Jukebox. He's buddies with, you know, he's friends again with Mick and John. And they tried to get the original lineup together again in the mid-10s, in the mid-2010s, I think. And it just was a no-go. And I'm like, damn it, guys. Jeremy's still around. I wish that they would do one last concert. Yes, Christina's dead. She was a pivotal, primary part of that band. I understand why Mick said what he did. But guess what? There really wasn't closure, was there? There needs to be a Mick Fleetwood and Friends. You don't want to call it Mac, don't call it Mac. But you get everybody alive that's a member, although there's not many left, really, if you think about it. I mean, there's what? There's Mick, John, Jeremy, okay. I think Kerwin's dead. Bob Weston, I think, is dead, and he wouldn't be invited anyway. He was like the Fleetwood Mac version of Vinnie Vincent for Kiss. And then Lindsay, Stevie, you know, and maybe get Rick Vito, Billy Burnett, Becca Bramlett, hell, bring Dave Mason, and then of course Tim Finn, Mike Campbell, bring them all together for one night, and other people. Yeah, Hypnotized, kick-ass tune, seriously. Sorry, I'm so behind on the fucking comments. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. You know what? That's too kind, and I would appreciate it. So, Fred, go look. Okay, my web address, all right, is on my description. So it's small case PSYKO _ DJ at yahoo.com. So small case psycho _ DJ at yahoo.com. When you feel like it, drop me an email. I'll respond back. Just put something in the header so that I know it's you. I hate to admit this. I only check my emails maybe once or twice a week. That's about it. I try to do better now, but that would be extremely grateful. Yes, definitely. And you know what? I don't have that Cal Jam album. They made them for both Cal Jams, right? First and the second. I don't have either of those. Because like the last time I came across a copy, it was all beat up. He had inoperative. Yeah, that's why. You know, I understand why he did it, but oh God, you know, it just is a slap in the face that he didn't get in, and it's bullshit. It's just bullshit. That's all. Yeah. I may have to do long distance winter on my next live. Fact. Yeah, I'll pass on fake Kiss too. Coworker saw Ace on Saturday, said he what? He walked out after. Oh God, no. Is he? Do you think he's back on something? Do you think he's back on something, or do you think maybe because of his age that maybe he's? I don't want to say anything bad or wrong, you know. But I hope it's not the first thing. If it's the second thing, then he needs to stop. He was in Woonsocket, Rhode Island on Saturday. Oh, wow. He's too old. Yeah, and that's Fred, you're right. He doesn't care anymore. I mean, like, okay, I haven't bought 10,000 volts, but I'm going to have to tell you the truth. I've heard like 4 songs off of that thing already, and it was like 2 of the 4 were really good. The other 2 was, and I'm like, I mean, I'm glad that he ended up getting a writer partner from the dude from Trickster, but I'm just going, yeah, over and over psycho, right? I play it on your show, but I don't think, yeah, I'm kind of not in the mood for a copyright strike. The only way you could get away with that, truthfully, is if you, I hate to say this, kids, but you'd have to mute it. You'd have to mute the sound, and we could, and you guys could play. You could sync along at home as he shows the video. I don't think they would get us for just the video, but I don't know. There's some kid stories out there about Jeremy. See, okay, now, God, I've heard yes and no. Yes, please, and thank you. A lot of great singers-songwriters, yeah, Fogelberg, Hartman, Paul Davis. You know, I'll tell you, I'd go crazy. Three months before his death, Welch underwent spinal surgery. Procedure was unsuccessful. He still was, oh, jeez. Oh, I've heard of Lyrica. Oh, God. That's sad. That's sad. Gonna be a cool night. Do you know who thought that his ego was big enough that he had a theater in Branson for a while? Gee, how it conveniently closed after about 12 to 18 months. Bertie Higgins. Do you remember? You remember him? This is the end. We had it all in Key Largo. I do too, and Glenn, and I don't think there's enough of it. It is so neglected, okay? Without those people, we would not have had a Fleetwood Mac. And, of course, let's mention, just for screwy here, Bob Brunning was the original bass player, not John McVie. Isn't that strange? But it's true. All right, I just saw what time it is. I'm going to have to wrap this up. And you know what? I love you guys so very much. You know what? And I need to seek some of those out, too. I really, really do. But we're going to try it. Like I said, we're going to try and do a test broadcast Friday night. I'm not really going to announce. You guys might just have to, it'd be after 8:30 Central Standard. It's the best answer I have for you, okay? And we will just go from there. We just lost Ed Pisker. I heard about Ed. I have seen American Splendor. I thought that was quite interesting. Oh, Blue Horizon label stuff. Nice. Oh yeah. That was some of the ones, right, that they recorded in Chicago in Chess Studios, right? In the later end of the 60s. All right. Take care. God bless. Rock on. Always Powered by Coffee each and every time. Every one of you people is important to me. That's a fact, okay? I have the best damn audience in the YouTube VC. I don't give a shit if I'm old VC, new VC. I don't give a crap. This is part of the VC, and you are part of the VC. No drama in this fucking place. That is my goal. I love you guys. Take care. God bless. Rock on. And I will see you next time. Good night. Good night. So long. Bye, peeps. TC always great. Why? Wait a minute. God bless Paul. Chet and fact. Yeah, women were accusing him Okay, Paul, good night. All see is over at Mayo's Fact. Good night, Noggin.